Last time on Testing the Waters, the crew of the Destiny finally reached the gilded trove hidden in the heart of the grotto. However, the moment we set foot in the inner chamber, the piles of gold and treasure rumbled to unlife, as we were set upon by none other than old Sot Otto himself and his clackety crew of skeletons. That lumbering gorilla hooted his taunts and brought down a brutal broadside with his cannon, but thanks to the captain's quick thinking, we were able to fall back and weather what shots Otto didn't fumble. Soraya was about to call in his boys to even the odds, but suddenly found himself fighting against Sochiel from half a sea away over the freedom of Mr. Pico and his crew. That whistle was shrieking something fierce and nearly stole away every gull in earshot, but thanks to Deresh's rallying words, Soraya and Mr. Pico won the day and shattered that accursed bosun right in Miss Sochiel's snarling face. About that time, I squared up with that rickety rust bucket Otto and gave him some hands to catch. He got a few good swings on me, though, and he even tried to blast Aurelia and me with his cannon at point blank. But once Deresh was done giving Otto's crew new holes, him and Scrap joined the fray, and we turned the tide. Otto's everlasting legacy got cut short right along with him after Harry split him like a log with that fancy axe of hers, and with that, the fighting was done. After that, Captain Echo set us to look about for the relic, and after riffing through Otto's pockets to get his journal and some change, I took off his eye patch. Then, believe it or not, he withered to dust right in front of me, and I found myself buried under a blinder the size of a sail. After everybody dug me and Mr. Pico out of that rank pile of cloth, we helped ourselves to the spoils and loaded everything up with Rob's help. I'll admit, I was feeling a bit spiteful after Otto opened up on me first thing. Then he turned up his nose at me, mentioning the Tempest in our fighting spit, so I scooped him up into his cup to give him his rights later. A bit more humbling certainly won't kill him anymore. Thankfully, getting back to the ship only took a bit of ingenuity and a well-placed pulley, and once on board, we divvied up the haul and got all sorts of neat stuff. But our celebration was put on hold after I asked Soraya to take a look at that journal. If I'm piecing his entries up correctly, it looks like rough seas on the head for everybody else. I've got a sinking feeling that Miss Sochiel's Emporium might not just be a vault for cursed relics, but a stockpile for something else. Maybe even someone else. Sunset rolled up right about then, so I left Soraya the journal and headed up top to check me scroll for our next steps. And let me tell you, when it rains, it pours. To the northeast, a looming black spot headed straight for us. No doubt the captain's buddy looking to muscle in on our claim. And more pressingly, Raimei and Nami close it in from the west. Among all their callers that took our fair share of bolts to the noodle, I'm on the denser side, and even I know you better keep clear when they're doing their work. I called the captain up, and once she got the scoop, she made the call for us to weigh anchor and set sail on the double. Before I took my station, I chucked Otto's ashes over the side to give him as bare bones of a funeral as anyone else gets at sea. In the end, all are at peace before storm and tide, even him. Now, that obviously goes for us too, and those clouds sure do seem to be looming. So, we're casting off into the unknown one more time as the climax of our adventure thunders forth.
All right, very nice. You get 1 inspiration and a high five from me to you. There it is.
Wow, the app gave me a high five.
So, with that, allow me just a moment of exposition before we get started. The ashes of old Salt Otto drift down, fluffing gently through the wind and touch the waves. But instead of floating, like most ashes do for a small while, instead these will instantly sink. And several things will happen at once. The air pressure immediately drops. All of you feel your ears pop. For Captain Echo and Aurelia, this is slightly more painful because their hearing is more sensitive, and for Deresh, despite not necessarily having ears, it feels like a pressure headache. Haas, your fur kind of begins to stand on end as static electricity builds in the area, and Mr. Pico is going to swoop low and land by Soraya's feet worriedly. A strange calm is felt just before a wall of wind pushes through the strait from the north, blowing nearly all the hats from your head, and it will whip wildly against the sails in gusts. Robin is going to go and raise the anchor as quick as he can, and Captain Echo will say, "All hands, full sail, right now!" The churn begins to pick up speed at an alarming rate, As the ashes sink like stones and are taken by the churn, the swirls of the churn grow so quickly that although usually not visible except for on the clearest of days, it can now be seen easily beneath the darkening waves, even by the naked eye. And it begins to move the Destiny along in its wake, just barely out past the strait and on to the main sea itself. As the Destiny rounds the bend of the island, gale force winds slam into you as the waves, which are getting choppier and are now full of foam, toss the little caravel ship around. If you could all please roll me a dex save to make sure you don't lose your footing. Alrighty. And let's see if I can roll for Aurelia. All right. Daresh, your feet go out from under you as the waves toss the little Destiny around, and you hit the deck. Haas and Aurelia are a little bit off balance, but they manage to cling to things and not completely fall. Soraya, you weather it like you've been through a storm before. A wall of rain and lightning darkens the edge of the island as it fast approaches. The large thunderbolt form of Raimei is seen as the lightning flashes and illuminates the black clouds above. It is fast approaching. And just off in the distance, under the clouds, the sea looks like it's boiling as the waves rise higher and higher. Only one part of the ocean, through the rising and sinking waves, appears to swirl into a maelstrom whirlpool. And as lightning flashes under the water, it illuminates the giant leviathan form of Nami. Two different screeches from different directions can be heard even through the howling wind. And just across the way, coming from this direction, you see the rival ship, bouncing along through the waves, being pushed by the wind, gaining ground towards you. And that is where we'll start the scene. Here. Let me know when you're loaded, please.
It says I have no vision of a token in the scene. Or token with.
Let me see if I can fix that. One moment for technical difficulties.
Very big board with the ship in a lot of water.
Yes. Very purple. You can see it?
Purple sea.
It's a tiny ship in a very big stadium.
Yes, it is. And
oh no.
From one direction, you see this form appear through the waves. That
Ooh.
there is Nami, swirling angrily towards you. From the other side, you see this form in the clouds, bringing the storm as quick as he can in your direction. That one is Raimei. And off in the distance, just a little ways away, you happen to see the ship of your rivals, off to the west. So, welcome to the end game. I will let you guys have a turn to do like character reactions and such, but then I will explain the rules of what's going to happen. Okay? So, if there's anything you'd like to say it now. It's your moment.
I think Well, the first thing, most important thing, is that Jiraiya's going to cast Mage Armor on himself because he didn't do that last time. Feel like this might be important. And go look over to Haas. That's your. You have experience with these guys. What is your? I think he just finds himself at a loss for words as to what exactly to do faced with two gods and on a very small boat in a very large ocean.
Also look up and he'll see this scene just pop up out of nowhere, and then he'll be a little bit confused for a second, but then, like everything else, he'll just kind of take it in stride, and he'll laugh. It's like, well, this is the sort of thing legends are made of. So take heart, everybody. You'll either die victorious, or, well, you can just skip the funeral, because they're right there. I guess he'll go to his, whatever station the captain wants him to, while we prepare for this big old skill and Charybdis moment.
Captain Echo is looking just stunned from the helm.
Come on, Captain.
Looks up at the storms. She'll look at Haas.
What
Right.
better legend for the Destiny than outrunning both Guardians?
Well, once in a lifetime opportunity, I suppose.
Quite
All
literally.
hands, full sail. And with that, she cranks the wheel of the ship, turns into the wind, and you will begin the encounter. Essentially, what's going to happen is the storms are going to roll to attack. They might attack you, they might attack each other, they might attack the rivals. Whatever the case is, you will need to make a defense roll. Everyone will roll the same check. And the objective, of course, is to outrun them and not sink. You have to get from one end of the map to the other. So, depending on what skill is needed for that particular moment, you all will roll that same skill in defense. And if you can roll higher than the storms, you won't take damage, and your ship will move ahead. Any sort of higher roll than either of the storms will count as a win, much like a clash. And hopefully, you can make it to the end without too much damage and without sinking.
Are they there as, like, just placeholder representations, or do we need to just go around them, or... Oh gosh, no!
They will move, depending on which ship they're attacking. They will move to show their position relative on the map.
Ah, okay.
Any other questions?
These defense rolls, are they going to be, like, saving throws or skill checks?
Skill checks. And
Okay.
I will give them to you as you encounter them.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions, or are we good?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I
That's
suppose
nosy.
it should be noted that if you don't wish to make the skill check, you can attempt to make a different check. If you want to try and recover anything that you've lost, or if you want to try and do something different, you're welcome to take that risk. But that would mean that there would be one less roll towards the potential chance of success. So that's up to you. But you do have that as an available option as well. If you want to try for something like fixing the boat to help it recover damage, or if you want to try an RP, I'll let you do it. But that may or may not make your defense a little bit weaker. So without any further ado, let's see who the storms are going to attack. All right. Not knowing who exactly to blame for the killing of a demi-titan and throwing the ashes into the sea, something that they themselves weren't able to do, and these guardians are somewhat jealous, then this is where they attack. And they begin in earnest to try and destroy anything and everything in their path. Raimei is going to turn and focus on the rivals. But Nami is going to swim beneath the waves and divide her attention amongst both ships. So, the rivals will roll their defense against Raimei, and he will make his roll. The rivals will keep their defense roll against Nami and take a little bit of damage. Let me calculate that. Okay. And then, as you see this happen, everyone on board the ship, you have only heard of this power in the sermons that the devotaries of the Squall give. You have never really experienced the full force of the Guardians themselves. You've never really seen them in person like this. You've certainly never been out on the water at a time like this. But here they are, in front of you. Something that some people worship as gods, and others worship as the protectors of this world. You all need to make a religion check as your defense roll. Or, now is the opportunity to do something different if you wish. Just tell me in advance.
I'm gonna go straight religion.
Ugh.
Oh no.
I will roll for Aurelia, just to see what she gets. Alright. Since you're only beating Nami, and Nami rolled a 10, Aurelia saves the day. And with her experience in religion, she says a quick prayer to anyone that will listen to let them succeed. And as such, your ship sneaks by as Nami's focus hears the prayer, and all of her attention is towards the rivals for this turn. Congratulations. You do not take damage, and you get to move forward. Rivals, however, will take damage. Let me make sure that I have that on there. There we go. All right. The storms fight. As you pass through the waves of the maelstrom, Nami's focus turns towards you. And seeing that she is now focused on something else, Raimei, being jealous, will also turn his focus towards you as well. Both storms have turned all of their ire onto the Destiny. This is something that can only be described as intense. The most gale force winds, the highest waves. The ship goes up and is about to crest the top before crashing back down. You all make a nature check, please. Okay, let's see if you can beat. Oops, that was supposed to be Raimei. Ignore the rival ship having rolled that. And this one is Nami. Unfortunately, none of your rolls were high enough to beat Nami. But
Can I
you do
burn
not
an
take.
inspo to make Nami reroll?
You can. Would you like to?
I'll burn one of my inspos, because I believe I still have 2 as of this moment.
Oh yes, and I should also roll for Aurelia. She would need to roll nature as well. She might just save the day. She didn't. With an inspiration. Describe what you do. How do you turn Nami's focus from you?
As we're cresting the wave, Haas will just kind of hold on to the edge, and he'll just laugh and shout. Then he'll just offer up his own little praising prayer that he's overheard at the monastery. Blessed be those who revel in the storm and the squall. And then he'll just kind of laugh as we go down the wave, probably free falling.
It works. Despite her ire being turned towards you, you take no damage and move ahead. The rivals, you'll notice though, also move ahead. Since all of the ire of the storms was focused on you, they are going neck and neck with you. Okay. They will both focus their attention again. This time, Nami turns her focus to the rivals who are swimming through her maelstrom, but Raimei is undeterred, and he will continue to swoop above the Destiny and focus on you. That's fucking... Now he doesn't flip-flop. That's unfortunate. Let me rotate him.
The world adjusts to Raimei, not the other way around.
Nami will move a little bit out of the way so that I can actually access both of the boats. But in the meantime, would you please, unless there's something else you want to do, roll for a sleight of hand check. As the wind from Raimei whips the sails and tries to tear them from their moorings.
Sleight of hand.
Captain Echo will shout, "Strengthen the knots, please, before they're ripped away."
Yeah. Okay, that.
Something I'm good at.
I'm
I can
not-
only hope. Oh,
Oh no.
He is undeterred. And although your desperate attempts to strengthen the knots, Daresh, you are holding on very tightly and trying your best. They give you a little bit of rope burn while the other ropes from the other teammates and crewmates are ripped free, and the Destiny takes just a little bit of damage. And I will roll for Nami and the rivals. Let me see. Whew. The rivals manage to do all right and not take any damage. And they sail forwards, with the sails going every which way. You also move forward, pushed along, seemingly, by the waves. The Guardians are angry. Raimei blames Nami for not doing enough and for not being able to tell which boat is which. And so he chooses to attack her. However, Nami decides to focus her attention and ire on the Destiny. As the ship is tossed and turned, bouncing about on the waves, and without all of the full use of the sails, please make me an acrobatics check to make sure that you don't lose your footing as the water makes the deck very slippery and you are washed from side to side. Ooh, Aurelia did surprisingly well. Thankfully, with Raimei's anger being turned to his own guardian companion, you only have to deal with Nami. And despite the bouncing of the waves, although some of you lose your footing, Soraya, most of you are able to stay on your feet and are able to do what is needed to recollect the sails and to make sure that nothing breaks loose as you barely pull ahead, avoiding any sort of damage. The rivals are neck and neck with you, though. The Guardians are furious that neither ship has sunk beneath their might. And since one of you was known for taking out a demi-titan, they cannot afford to let you escape. Raimei turns all of his attention towards the Destiny, and Nami once again swirls beneath both of you, attempting to sink at least one ship in her swirling waters. Captain Echo will call out. Try to juke them. Try to move the sails in such a way that they don't know where we're going. Perhaps it will throw them off, and we may be able to avoid what damage there is. Please roll a deception check.
Sorry, what check was that? I cut out.
Deception.
Deception.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, let me roll for Aurelia. You'll notice that the intensity of the storms grows ever slightly stronger. as both of them hit against the Destiny. The winds gust, and the waves toss, and the Destiny takes a little bit of an extra brunt of the damage. The waves roll over the Destiny and knock a few things loose. And the winds buffet the sails. But the ship is still going strong. The rivals are also feeling the pain. And take some damage being caught in Nami's wake. Do you as a party want Aurelia to attempt to repair this turn? You'll notice that Raimei will go for the rival ship, and that only Nami seems to be attacking you.
Does it look like we're close to being, like, free and clear? Like, if we can reach just past it, we'll get to some kind of safe harbor? Or will we continue to be in more danger if it doesn't run in, down to the lower deck?
You feel that you would escape the storms, although if the rivals do not sink as well, you may end up in a battle on the open sea against them. I think it's safer. I think it's safer if you. Our first priority must be getting out of here. If we're swallowed by the sea, it won't matter if the ship is repaired. And suggest that she stay up to help us defend the ship. My suggestion.
Oh, you can go below deck any time, but you'll only see this once.
She'll nod, pushing her glasses up her nose. So which is it?
Stay up and help us maintain this. Stay up and help us keep the ship alive. Stay up. Don't go repair the ship.
Understood. And she will put the little flap on her tool case down, and noticing a slight ticking, her watch does seem to be spinning, but it's not spinning nearly as fast as it once was. She nods, hopeful that you all can make it out. Please roll me a perception check to see if the storms are actually about to dissipate, or if it was just a vain hope. Nami is there, and it does not look like she wishes for the boat to be lost from her clutches. You feel the waves swirl and try to attempt to pull the Destiny down into the whirlpool of her maelstrom. And the Destiny takes just a little more damage, battered but not yet broken.
Our ship's bleeding.
The rivals fight their own battle against Raimei. and manage to actually make it out just fine, unscathed from his one attack. This is it. The final attack of the storms before they dissipate and go elsewhere. Perhaps they were wrong to have come here. They know that they felt a demi-titan. They know that he is dead, but perhaps that might yet be enough, and they might not need to waste more of their time searching for something that is already gone. This is the final roll. Nami will attempt to sink both. She is still quite angry. But Raimei will only focus on you. He feels a strange calling from the hold of your ship. Hopefully, you can survive. Please roll me athletic checks to try and keep things as tight to the ship as you can, and to not lose anything into the sea. Right, pretty good rolls. This is for Raimei. And this is for Nami. As you crest the final wave, you manage to outrun the storm. And so do the rivals. Nami and Raimei become distracted with each other as they fight. And they go back, searching the sea for what was left of the demi-titan. Maybe they missed it, but their quarry sails out of the edge of the storm, and as you leave behind the fighting guardians, only the rivals are left to contend with. The rain is still whipping, the waves are still high, the clouds are still there, but at least you are not in direct confrontation with the guardians anymore. The rivals use this opportunity, pull in, and begin to circle you, attempting to cut you off. Captain Echo says, from the helm, where she's been desperately holding on to the wheel, trying to keep the Destiny steady. I suppose we're free of the storms for now, but I highly doubt that these fellows are going to let us get away so easily. They unfortunately didn't sink. All hands to battle stations, please.
Hi, Captain. Oh,
Aye,
right,
aye.
Okay. So, as they come to the side, they will sail, and the Destiny will sail a little bit forward. Captain will say, "Port side! Fire cannons!" If you could please, make a strength check for me. think about it. Let me see. All right. Cannons fire off the port side of the ship and strike heartily into the side of the rivals. Two cannonballs strike true, blowing pieces of the wood away from the side of the ship. An angry shout goes up from the crew, which you can now see as they drift even closer to you. They're all furless. Most of them are low tide, being just average human height. The captain is a male, and he shakes his fist angrily from the helm of his own boat. But whatever angry words he's shouting are lost in the still howling winds of the storm. They return fire. It is just barely enough to hit the side of the boat. And one of the cannonballs goes straight through, doing 4 damage. You now have a very sizable hole in your hull. Seeing the damage taken, Pirelli will go downstairs.
I was going to say, now might be the time to go patch the hull.
No.
I am on it! And she bounds down the stairs in one leap. Her tools at the ready. Does anyone else want to help her recover? Any of the ship's parts? Or do you all wish to stay up here and mount your attack and defense?
We won't have much attack left to attack if we don't have much ship left to ship. I will go with her at least for this round to see what I can do to keep us afloat.
Okay. In that case... Oh, go ahead, August.
No, I was just going to say I think Sarai will try and stay up top.
All right. Toss.
Where's Rob at? Is he downstairs?
Rob has been everywhere on the ship all at once. He's just been
Okay.
helping where he could.
Omnipresent. Got it.
Much
Haas
like the
will
rest
stay
of
up
the
top.
NPCs, yeah.
Because he probably would be more harm than help trying to fix something. So
All right. Then Haas and Soraya, please roll me strength checks again.
I think he's not very good at strength, so I think Soraya's actually going to try something kind of silly right here.
Okay.
To try and... So, he's going to use his secret move. He's going to look over at the enemy ship and try and lock eyes with the captain on the enemy ship and call down his birds. Gonna, as the tension builds and their eyes meet, it's going to go stock still until he knows that he's got the attention of the captain. He starts a small chant under his breath. Rockin', rockin' and rollin'. Down to the beat, I'm strolling, and he'll begin a coordinated dance with his seagulls as he casts Tasha's hideous laughter to try and make the captain of the enemy ship stop giving orders.
All right. Will you please roll me a performance check as well?
Sure thing. Gotta go back. Sheet. Performance. Man, I really should invest in charisma.
And, Haas, could I have you roll me a check instead of a saving throw, please? On your character sheet, if you're wondering where to do that, it is actually at the top instead of off on the right.
Oh, okay. I tried going up there, but I didn't go over the STR itself. Sorry.
Well,
okay.
No, that's fine. And technically you can keep your roll. I need to, like, double check that your modifier is just a +2. Alright, you can keep the 13, but that'll make it a total of 15. That's just for next time. Okay. Let me see what the rival ship rolls. Well, as the waves toss the rival ship up a little higher than the Destiny, you're rather in the valley of the wave and they're on the crest. The cannon fire goes a little bit wide and misses them. And the captain, looking down from his spot at the wheel, notices Soraya's dance. And is rather enthralled. He will not take an attack this time because he is stunned speechless and does not give the order to his crew. You see the quartermaster next to him, shaking him. Captain! Captain! Or at least you presume that's what he's saying, based on the movement of his mouth. And the captain just cocks his head, staring at the dance and the song, wondering what in the world you could be thinking in the middle of a naval battle of all things. Bewildering. Congratulations, Aurelia and Daresh. You have a little extra time to patch that boat. So, if you have tinker tools or anything of the like, feel free to use them, Daresh. If you don't, roll me a sleight of hand check, please.
I don't have tools per se, but my background is a boater.
Okay.
Of hand.
Let me see. Oops, not that one. Right. Unfortunately, the damage was greater than both of you expected. And, try as you might, you have not managed to stem the flow of the water through the hole. It still needs a bit more of a patch. But you are at least halfway there, you can tell. You just need to patch the other half of the hole, and you should be good. As the boats circle each other, the captain will yell, "Starboard side! Fire!" Haas, you and Soraya, make me those strength checks, please.
Hey. Yeah.
That is not enough. As the waves buffet the ships, both of those cannon fires sink into the ocean and are lost to the churn. The captain of the rival ship shakes his head, cleared from the stupor that he was in of the hideous laughter. He will try, and he will not succeed. He will still be mesmerized, thinking of the previous dance that he saw, ignoring the fact that you've stopped dancing and have fired a cannon towards him. He is still lost
I feel like
in the thrall.
might just be that he's continuously dancing. We've got a full 3 minutes of song left. We can just continue the dance.
And so it is that he does not give the order to attack. His quartermaster throws his hands up in the air and tries to give the order, but it's too late. The waves have already moved the Destiny slightly out of position as they continue their path around and behind. Aurelia will need to roll again, and so will Daresh if you're attempting to patch the boat.
Is it another sleight of hand for me, or?
It is another sleight of hand for you, yes. Ah, there we go. And with that, you have recovered a little bit of the Destiny's HP. Aurelia looks up. Ah, thank you. I think I can take the rest of it from here. The rest go back up top.
All right. And I'll clamber back up the stairs.
She will continue to hammer and make adjustments and attempt to patch the boat a little further. As the rivals sail behind, the captain will say, "Mortars! Eh!" If you all will please make your strength checks to fire the mortars.
I think I might do mine as performance. It's the same roll, but just to keep up the concentration of trying to make sure that the captain does not give his orders.
Okay, go ahead and make me another performance check then.
Also, my inspo is up for grabs if anybody wants to burn it. Going forward, just putting that out there.
Got it. None of my stats are very good for this particular integration.
Daresh, did you want to attempt to make
Was
it to a mortar in time to roll?
Yes, if I can make it up top deck in time to try to fire something, I will try to scramble up the stairs back up to the top deck.
Okay. Roll me an acrobatics check to see if you can keep your footing and get to a gun in time. That is not enough. You slide a little bit off course. And you don't make it to one of the mortars. But the waves work in your favor, and the mortars will hit the rival ship and deal some damage to the mast. One of the sails on the front hangs limp and useless, but they still have another sail, and they are still in this fight. The captain will still be mesmerized by the dance, despite the fact that Soraya looks a little more tired, and the seagulls are slightly, perhaps a little less coordinated than they were, with the tossing and turning of the waves and the slickness of the deck. He doesn't seem to notice. He's lost in the song. And being in the valley and you on the crest, the quartermaster knows it is hopeless to give any orders to fire. They would just go into the waves. And he doesn't really want to anger Nami and draw their ire back towards you. And so they circle the Destiny just a little more. Port side fire! Yells Captain Echo.
He's not rolling.
Daresh, you are there. You were slipping and sliding on the deck, but you can slide over to a cannon, definitely.
Yeah,
in time.
I didn't have the strength. Yeah, ready. I had to. Get back up.
Sure thing. And Aurelia will take the opportunity to try and patch the boat. You hear much hammering and thunking from beneath deck. And I forgot to roll for her for the last turn as well, so she will... She will be hammering as much as she can, but you still feel that you are taking on just a little bit of water. Let's see. You manage to hit the rival ship. The waves work in your favor, and the rival ship takes more damage. Some nice, juicy maximum damage there, too. Several holes have been pierced through their hull, and they are starting to stagger through the waves instead of casually floating on top like a normal ship should. The quartermaster shakes his captain ferociously, trying to get him to wake up. But despite Soraya and the seagulls looking even more exhausted than normal, the spell is holding strong.
I feel like this is definitely the someday when you are older, you may get hit by a boulder as a cannonball just crashes through the mast.
And they circle just a bit more. Starboard side! We've nearly got them, lads! She points at him. Not that he can hear, but she'll shout into the wind. Harold! I knew you would go down one day. I warned you back at university. Harold does not notice or pay attention, lost in the song as he is. Please roll me those strength saving checks. Those strength checks, not saves. Sorry. Despite your best efforts, the waves and wind fight against you. Still, as the aftermaths of the storms are taking the effect, and the rival ship is bounced just barely out of the way as the cannon fire goes wide. Aurelia attempts to patch the hull, but once again does not succeed. You hear much hammering and perhaps a small string of curses under her breath. And Bill says, "Do you want any help?" She says, "No, I have these." And the captain, Harold, drapes himself over the helm, barely even controlling his ship as it drifts slightly off course, off into the distance. Captain Echo says, "Mortars, one last time." The mortars hit the rival ship, and they take out another big chunk. Another bit of the mast goes flying, another bit of the hull goes flying. They will flounder very shortly. Captain Echo will ask, "Do we wish to sink them, or shall we leave them to the storm?"
That is a good question. You know who these people are? Oh, go ahead.
Yuresh would say something like, any risk we don't have to take is a risk that I vote we leave.
They have fired on us. and they do intend to kill us. Perhaps it is wise to be safe rather than merciful, as he still tries to frantically maintain his movements.
She nods. Very well then. If no one objects, we send them to the churn.
Oh, I thought that was... Oh, I must have misunderstood. I thought we were sparing them.
Well, perhaps I misunderstood. Over
I'm
the
good.
table.
Which
was it?
Yeah, over the table.
Yeah,
August the player, don't care. I, August the player, am good with either option.
Yeah, over table. Yuresh, doesn't like taking risks if we don't have to, but he's going to do what he's got to do. If you think it's a good idea to shoot, we're going to shoot, but...
Okay. And Haas, you wanted to spare them?
Well, I thought it was, since it was getting... it seemed like we were sparing them, so I didn't pipe up, but if it's on the fence, then Haas will chime in and he'll say, they spared Rob, so we might as well pay that kindness back to them and let them limp back to their port, wounded, and we can slip away.
Captain Echo will nod. Perhaps you're more honorable than I. I'll tell you Harold's story later once we get to a safe berth, but for now, I suppose, we sail on. And you all make it out of the edge of the storm, leaving the rival ship to suffer whatever fate may befall it. And as you get back to the main map, let's see how far you have traveled. The storms were ferocious, the winds and waves were great. And despite not being a boat that was built for this sort of energetic activity of the seas, the storms have pushed you quite a fair bit towards your destination. They pushed you down this way and even a little off to the side. You are now perhaps just nearly a day's travel from Port Moods. The seas are calm as the storm has focused most of its ire here, and you break into a calmer sea, the sun filtering through what's left of the drizzle, making a little bit of a rainbow as you pass.
Ooh, can we see if there's like any... I know the starfall was like for Raimei passing, but can we like do a perception check to see if there's like a similar Nami phenomenon in the ocean?
Sure.
No!
Would anyone else like to roll? Or...
Precious Lord!
Yes, I will roll perception.
Yeah, perception.
I think now, as he takes a rest, I'll try and sit down on the planks of the wood.
Haas, you are on the port side of the boat and don't see anything, but Daresh, being on the starboard side of the boat, you notice a slight kind of glowing sort of effect in the seas, almost like the shooting stars in the sky from when Raimei passes. With Nami's passing, you see glowing... You don't think they're plankton, they're more like seaweed, but they kind of shoot and disappear through the waves.
I kind of point out what I See, I am not very well versed on magic, obviously, and stuff that's happening with whatever those things were that were doing whatever they were doing. But I do notice the phenomena happening over there, and I notice that Haas is looking off the other side of the ship, and I kind of call over to him. Haas, what do you make of this?
Oh, would Haas know anything about those, or do I just leave it to
You
fate?
you could roll me a nature or perhaps a religion check. As you look into the waves, despite the waves of the sea being pink, you'll notice that these light effects are very much a blue color.
You know, if enough of them get together, it'd almost look like Soraya's painting, wouldn't it?
But
Mighty strange.
you don't know anything else. Fate has denied you access to that. You do remember, though, that Raimei's shooting stars happen to be yellow. Nami's shooting stars of the sea are blue. But that's all you know. Captain Echo, relieved, gives the Destiny a few happy pats, takes her hat off and wipes her brow. Well, that was far more exhilarating than I had really hoped or expected. Anyways, onwards to Port Moods. No objections, I hope.
None on my end.
I'd
By the
say
way,
we earned a drink.
our rendezvous. Yeah. Which port was our rendezvous point with the collective?
It was Moods.
It was Moods. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She will eye Haas and give him kind of a stink eye. Perhaps you can take a drink after you finish your cleaning duties. If you'll remember, you're swabbing the decks.
He'll lower his hands and then kind of look around and just see the disaster and just kind of sulk and go get the tools to get started.
I think Soraya is just drenched with sweat and rain, and he'll look at. I think he's earned his. It was perhaps ill-conceived, but he could use a drink for right now. We've all gotten out of the storm. The ship can swabbing the deck can always wait for a little bit of time. There's more than enough little.
No, the captain's right. Discipline's important. I'll get to it.
She'll nod, and the Destiny will continue sailing, peacefully this time, through the sea for the rest of the day. As it drifts along, casual chatter happens back and forth. Aurelia finally gets enough of the boat patched that the Destiny is no longer leaking, and even actually manages to shape it up just a bit more so that it doesn't look so absolutely torn apart by the time you get to port. And as the sun begins to set, you arrive back at the island where the adventure all started. The captain says, "All right, everyone. I'll meet you all at the tavern where we first met. We can have drinks now to celebrate our success. I'm going to stop in at the union offices very quickly and let them know that we've arrived, but other than that, feel free to take your booty, and I'll see you all in the tavern."
We'll see you there.
Aye,
Exiting off the ship. Well, it seems
Alright.
that we have the day.
Yes,
Or
you
I
do
guess
have
I
the
don't
day.
know. Yeah.
Although it is getting rather close to the end of business hours, it is sunset time. People are bustling about and starting to head back to their homes for the evening.
It seems like we don't have a lot of time, but there is one thing that I think we might have time for. Is there like a library or other place of like collective knowledge? As Soraya is essentially looking to find a lexicon to reference the cuneiform writing that we found in several of our journeys. If there's a cipher here.
Let me see. Moods is large, and you know that there is a small little library, but since it's not connected to a university and it's one of those privately owned ones, someone who has their own printing press and makes their own pamphlets, you're not entirely certain that you'll find anything there, but you are welcome to check it out if you so desire. Hopefully you can get there before they close up shop for the night.
Sarah will mention that and just at least to go see, because he's got nothing else to do in port right now until he goes to the tavern. That he'll accrue that's where he's headed off to see if he can't find a start on the ciphering the cuneiform writing, and he'll meet back up with them later if they don't want to come along.
I'll tag along if you don't mind. I'm curious to see what all that stuff's been saying.
Probably a small library. We'd need to go to a much bigger city to have a better chance of it, but who knows? Maybe it's this Baron could be an eccentric man.
Right. Aurelia will take her steel defender and say, I will meet you at the tavern. And will go off through town on her own, doing her own thing. Forgive me, I do not have the Port of Moods as a map, so you'll have to use some theater of the mind here.
Oh, our imagination.
Mm-hmm. Daresh, where were you planning on heading?
Before we are going to go have our big rendezvous, I was going to do a once-over on the lower decks of the boat just to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be and there wasn't any more catastrophic damage that we didn't get to fix. And I'm going to spend my time checking through that, checking the boat over once, up and down, and making sure none of our important stuff got broke. And making sure that all those valuable imported spices that we bought still didn't get dumped overboard. And then, after I've, made sure everything is secured, then I'll head towards the tavern to rendezvous.
Okay. Well, for now, let's start with Soraya and Haas. You two disembark from the Destiny and wander through town. The port is bustling at this time of day as people are going to and from, some people rushing to try and get the last purchase in before the shops close, some others having already closed shop and heading home. Everyone going here and there and everywhere across the streets. You know the general location of the library, and as you get there, it's in somewhat of a wealthier part of town. The houses are a little more well kept. Fence surrounds the property line. The assault has not done quite as much damage. The walkway up to the door is paved in cobblestone. And there is a bell with a string that you can ring at the edge of the gate, if you'd like.
Yeah, if they seem like they're open, you'll go ahead and give it a ring.
The gate is locked, but you do not see a sign that has hours posted anywhere. So as you ring the bell, Clang, clang. A maid will come to the door. Oh, hello. Yes, be right there. And she'll come down the cobblestones to the gate. Yes, how can I help you?
Pardon the late hour, madam, but we were here to peruse some of the books that you might have on offer. We're looking for a specific. We're looking to do some translating of some text that we found. Are you open, or is your master in? I understand that if it's too late, we could come back in the morning.
Well, he did just leave for a dinner engagement, but I suppose if you're quick, there wouldn't be any harm if you're only to look. And she'll look you up and down, noticing your clothing. Soraya, you cut a rather fine figure. Daresh is on the boat. Haas, you're kinda sketchy looking. She'll give Haas a sniff and say, but you don't touch anything, okay? And she'll say, come in. She'll open the gate, lead you into the manor.
Also will curl his tail around his waist to make sure it doesn't smack into anything. And he'll also kind of like smell his pits to make sure he's not too funky.
The rain did a pretty good job being on a storm, you know?
Good.
We had our once-a-year bath.
Wet fur smell.
Yeah.
My precious crust.
Ooh. She lets you inside, and immediately, where the sitting room would be, off to the side of the entryway, you see that it is full of shelves. Says, well, here's the library. Here are the books that we have, most of which we've printed ourselves, but some are a fine collection that he has gathered on his own. I cannot open the case for you, though, for that collection, as he is not here, but you're welcome to peruse the shelves of the other books.
That's fine. That is perfectly all right. This will only take a moment. I really only need to see the. I think if we just go by the titles, we should be able to see if what we're looking for is here. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
We'll begin perusing the titles of any of the books that he can see based on their spines.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check, please.
Investigation. I'm usually pretty good at them with a +7, but it's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot
sure
roll above a 10 to save my life. You've still got a re-roll for this, right?
Yeah, if you want to use it.
I think we might be I say as a player here at the end of all things, and hopefully not setting up a red flag, this might be our best option to get it. I might use it to try and get a reroll on this.
Would Haas feel inclined that he's qualified to check the shelves himself first, or is this definitely the realm of Soraya?
I could tell you what I'm looking for.
You've seen the cuneiform lots and lots on your map, on your scroll. So if that's all he's looking for, you could also roll an investigation check. But if he's looking for something specific...
Anything I need to be keeping an eye out for while I look over these shelves too, Soraya?
Well, anything that matches the cuneiform lettering that we've seen before. Generally, when I've read some of the books on this title, I've used, there are a couple that I know that are good translators. So E. Plumbus is a good translator. Maliform's Mysteries is they do mostly, or actually, no, that's not a good one. That's the bad one. But you could do E. Heverit. They're a good translator, usually pretty good on it. And he'll just those are some authors that I know that might write, that I know are reliable on the subject. Other than that, anything that might suggest deep reading of, you'll know it by the title. Things like ancient artifacts and their origins, stuff like that.
Okay. Also kind of get on his tippy fingers to check the top shelves. That's a good sign for you to use my inspiration, sir.
Okay. One more time. Watch this drive.
Oh,
That's as good as we're gonna get.
All right. As you investigate the books along the shelves, you don't necessarily find what you're looking for in the public section, but behind that locked glass case, you do see 2 books that might potentially be of use to you in the future. You see one by the famous linguist that you mentioned, the treatise on language and the different cultures that are represented in and so on and so forth as the title continues off the binding of the book. And then you see a rather larger tome that says Artifacts and Cursed Treasures, Myth or Truth. And it is by a well-known archaeologist and somewhat of a privateer of a scavenger as well. But unfortunately, the 2 books that you think you might need are behind that locked case.
I think these are the ones, but we'll have to come back in the morning for it, but we know where they are. So turn to the maid. Well, this has been very good. If you would leave a message with your master, we think we'll be back here tomorrow morning if that is all right with you. I think these books are what we're looking for.
Oh, well, wonderful. Yes, I will leave him a note. For your information, we open right at 9 a.m. So, we'll expect you then.
9 a.m. it is.
And she'll nod.
thank you for your time, miss.
You're welcome. And she'll say, please, if I may see you out.
He'll walk out the door and off to the tavern.
She will close the gate behind you and go back inside the manor. And you will head to the tavern. Daresh, while you are on the boat checking, you will notice that, at least in the case of the spices, Bill was actually quite particular and put them in the barrels highest up so that water, would not slosh into them, so that even if something got knocked over, they would hopefully be safe. They'd spill onto other things before spilling onto the floor. And it appears that the spices are safe. Several of the personal belongings have gotten tipped over and sloshed around, though most anything that wasn't nailed down has gone flying. But it all seems to be there.
At least it's still here. I'll take my time to try to reorganize the stuff that's gotten knocked about and tossed around and see what I can pick up that's not broken and put it back where it goes.
Sure thing. You take that time, and it is rather easy. You find everything that's not broken. In fact, very few things got broken. Are you checking the captain's cabin as well?
I'm probably not going to go in the captain's cabin without permission, but...
Okay. Well, nothing really got broken that you can tell. Some of the cookware kind of scattered, and Bill is down there with you, cleaning up his station and making sure that it's neat and tidy again. He grunts. Rough weather we had, huh?
That we did. But like everything else we've been through, we'll weather it. We'll weather what comes next.
He just nods gruffly. Thanks for helping clean up. You really are one of me favorites.
Yeah, well, it's our home for now, so might as well keep it in ship shape.
Indeed. So, now that it is in a ship shape, want to go get a drink?
Well, and while we are headed back up to the top, if Bill is suggesting we leave for the tavern, right?
He is, yes.
Okay, rather than like something here on the ship.
Yeah.
Suresh will look around this port. Obviously, this one's a little more hospitable than the one we started at a couple days ago. No
This is...
skulky pirate boats.
yes. This one actually has designated docks, and you will notice that you are in the Sky People's dock, actually. Despite the Destiny being a Midlander ship, you happen to be in one of the Sky People's docks. A couple of flying ships hover, tied off to little posts up above you, but there is a dock out here on the water's front where the Destiny is moored.
Well, and to Bill, seeing as how this port looks a little more hospitable, I think I'll feel comfortable leaving and heading to the tavern if that's where you're headed.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about going and getting a drink.
Now's as good a time as ever after the week we've had.
Indeed. Work. But good work.
Always.
All right. And as you make your way through town, arriving at the tavern, let me make sure that the map is working. Arriving at the tavern, Haas and Soraya, you get there. Seems to be a rather busy night, busier at least than the time where you first met Captain Echo. But you do see at least Robin and Aurelia off in the corner having claimed a table.
Oh, there they are over in the corner.
Yeah.
Also wave at them and then make his way back.
Roll me perception checks as you guys pass this party.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of Midlander people.
It is, and they're all fruitless too, except for one.
We hang out with Rob. There's nothing weird about that. Your mom's a
You
furry.
notice
Deal.
nothing. They just seem to be having a good time. They're sharing drinks. They're laughing, not too loudly, but loudly enough that you think they're really enjoying themselves. And good for them.
Hey, wait a second. Boss. These people stole our spot.
He'll think back to weeks ago. Oh, yeah. That table must be lucky.
I think it is. What are the odds?
Double natural one.
Aurelia looks up from a slice of carrot cake. Oh, hello. Good to see
Whoa.
you.
Had good luck. I think we found a very promising lead on decoding this journal.
She will nod approvingly. Good, good.
The captain show up yet, or are we still waiting for them?
She'll swallow her bite of cake. No, not yet. Probably going to be here any minute, though. I've been here a little while.
We've been up to, Rob.
Rob looks down at you and kind of gives a little smirk. Try not to break this little tiny stool. And he winks. But other than that, I made my report out at the Midlander's office for the Ministry of Mercantile Business, and well, you know, not much to report about since I didn't really have anything with me showing what had happened, but at least they know I'm still alive if they ever need another person to be a hand on a crew.
Well, if you ever need anybody to vouch for you, let me know. I reckon somebody like me rolling up to an office will make you look a lot more credible.
He nods appreciatively. Probably gonna go and get my my loot examined, as it were, you know, tomorrow maybe. Somewhere nice and reputable. But other than that, just enjoying my time, being alive. It's nice to have not been on another sinking ship.
An iron cage for an iron crown's a pretty good trade, in my opinion.
He nods. And at this time, two other people come through the door. And you'll see Bill and Daresh.
Being the group over there at the back of the tavern, Ash will make his way to meet them.
Bill will stop and order drinks for the table at the bar. He'll bring over 6 tankards in his hands. Just kind of splash them down on the edge of the table. There, for everyone. He'll take one, and he'll go and sit over here. And happily drink it.
Oh. Thank you very much, Mr. Boat.
His tail swishes in recognition.
I guess ship's all ship shape.
Yes, we took stock of everything down below, and it looks like, for the most part, everything's still intact. Really patched up the holes in the hull, and Bill and I cleaned up the things that got knocked around, and I think everything's fine for now.
It's good. I think we've got a good lead on decoding the cuneiform writing we found.
Huh.
So I think all in all, made it out of the ship, made it away from those pirates. I think all's a good day. So I guess that group over there, they did steal our spot, but I think that's a small blemish on an otherwise rather good day, I'd say.
Got a little hairy at the end there, but I'm glad we made it through. It'll make for quite a story.
Sarai, you'll notice as you speak that she's watching you as she drinks and laughs with the rest of the crew at the table. She has most certainly heard what you've been saying. But before she can stand up and do anything, two other people walk in and, seeing you, say ahoy! And she'll sit down again and kind of wait as they approach. Captain Echo will take a seat, and Mr. Bumblesmee will stand right behind. Well, hello, crew.
Greetings, Captain. I assume that the transfer went well?
Oh, well, actually, it was just a meeting. I had to, sign up all that bureaucracy and parchment and red ink and all that, They won't be able to meet with us to discuss our find for a few days yet, but in just a few days, perhaps by the end of this week, they should have an opening, and then we will present what we have found and get the rest of our payment at that time.
I see. Oh. Either way, I guess it's all smooth sailing from here.
Oh yes, shouldn't be any further trouble. I thank you all for your hard work this venture.
Did some fine sailing out there in the tempests. Happy to be working on your crew, Captain. And he'll raise his mug.
Fry will raise his mug to match. To successful journeys and a well-made crew.
Here, and she'll raise her mug.
Ash will also nod and raise a glass as well.
The same with Aurelia and Rob. They will clink the mug in the middle. And as everyone takes a sip, the evening goes on. As the evening goes on, someone comes up to the stage and begins to play a jaunty little tavern tune. There's a little harpsichord in the corner. Other tavern people come and go. Other patrons buy drinks and eat meals, and a few even get up and dance around the fire sometimes.
Haas, having had a few drinks now, he'll lean over. All right, Captain, let's hear it. Who's Harold? Why is his ship huge? Why was it pulling us full of holes?
Well, I suppose I can tell you now that we're not quite caught in the middle of a storm. Harold is an old university fellow of mine. We were rivals in class, always vying to get the better grade. And, well, at the Naval Academy in the sky, I know despite his appearance, he actually has a chicken for a father. He takes after his mother's side, though, furthest, as it were. But due to his father's lineage, he was allowed to apply at the Sky Naval Academy anyways. And he felt the need to prove himself, of course, due to his heritage. So we go back and forth. He attempts to frame me for cheating on my tests, and I attempt to sabotage his exams as well, and so on and so forth. And finally, it comes time for the practical exam. We're there, and we each get a ship assigned to us. He was assigned the Destiny, but this was her original version. She used to be a skyship. She used to be held aloft by balloons, sailing the sky. And I had a different ship at the time. Now, the goal was to sail and retrieve a certain item of a certain amount and bring it back before the time was up. And if you could not achieve this goal, you would not pass. You would not be allowed to be a captain. And also, the goal was, if you were graduated to captain, you would either get the opportunity to claim the vessel that you were given for the test as your own, or you could bid and trade for a different vessel. Well, Harold, being who he was, cocky and surefire as ever, went and very nearly immediately crashed the Destiny into the Midland, straight down into the sea. Nobody knows quite what went wrong. It certainly wasn't me. I did not sabotage his ship, but he blames me for his own shortcomings. And when he crashed, of course, he failed. I was successful, and I became a captain, officially, with the Naval Academy. And, admittedly, in a little bit of spite, I bid for the Destiny. I was ridiculed for it, as it could no longer be a skyship. It was too far broken at that time. But I was allowed to have it at a discount, and I made it my own. And I decided that I could be, perhaps, one of the better sky sailors, even on the Midland. And so I've kept her as a Midland ship, and I have continued to work for the Preservation Union through the Sky Branch as a captain of their academy. And Harold did not take either of those things well. His failure to graduate, or the fact that I claimed the Destiny out from under him, through the wreckage, as it were. And as such, ever since then, I've heard rumors that he's been on my tail, hunting me down, attempting to sabotage previous endeavors of mine. But with this one, I hope to move up in rank even further, and I suppose his attempts will only grow more fearsome in the future. But it is nice to have something to rely on. If I only have to watch my back from one person, at least I know who it can be. And she'll finish by taking a sip of her drink.
A good rival keeps you sharp, I reckon. You think you'll ever put more balloons on the Destiny again? Go back up in the clouds?
No. Most likely not. I actually rather enjoy being on the Midland, surprisingly.
That's a shame. It would have made a shorter commute for Pico and his men.
Well, I suppose if he'd like to fly his little dirigible close to Destiny, he could.
Yeah. I think it would not as good a flight from down here.
To each his own. Do you plan on sticking around town for future endeavors, or will you be going back to your own, Soraya?
Oh, for the foreseeable future, I'll be here. We found the thing to decode some of the text that we found. So for at least a little bit, I'll be here trying to translate this book.
She'll nod. A worthy pursuit.
After that, I'm not entirely certain where I'll be going, but by that time, I imagine I'll have found something.
At this point, this lady walks up and kind of taps your table, clears her throat. Excuse me. Just, hello. Can't help but overhear you. Would you like to go for a dance, perhaps, Mr. Albatross, I believe? Unless I'm mistaken.
Indeed, my name is Soraya. And you are, madam?
I'm Captain Jonstarter. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you as well. I suppose I have time for a little dance.
Lovely.
Soraya.
Yes.
Pass me your books. No one wants to dance with a nerd.
I'll have you know, I have danced with many people in my lifetime. But yes, I'll pass him the book.
Probably also nerds. Look at her. You got a chance.
I'm not looking for companionship, it's just a dance.
Sure. Boss will set the books on the table and just kind of keep them in eyesight, but he's rooting for his boy.
Captain Jonstarter is just smiling widely at this entire interaction. And she'll take your wing and lead you to the dance floor. And as she spins you around, you'll notice that she is, in fact, the one leading. Despite you being the the man, she's just taking you around on a grand little spin. Not necessarily to the beat or anything, just free and frolicking. She'll say, well, I couldn't help but overhear. I know that you're thinking that we took your table, and that's fine, you know, you could have just come up to me and asked, we would have moved. But I also overheard that you're trying to translate a book, and that it's got cuneiform.
Well, indeed. Archaeological pursuits.
Oh, aye?
You have interest in the subject?
You could say that I do, sure.
A researcher of some...
Oh, go ahead. Beg your pardon.
I didn't have anything to say.
Well, I do a little bit of research on my own, but I'm wondering, how much do you know about them?
About the right. Well, there's the trick. We actually don't know much of anything about it, so it's something to find out. It is a rather intriguing mystery that we've come across. But so far, don't know if it revealed anything. Mostly it seems to be a document, just comings and goings of some spice trades so far.
Oh, aye. And may I ask where you happened to find such a resource?
Off to the southeast. Up on in... shoot, I don't have the map up in front of me. What is one that's to the southeast? Southeast is not the way that we went. I'm specifically not staying northeast.
Let me
Or
show
not,
you
or
the
where
map. You can
Yes.
see. Southeast would be off the edge of the map, places that you don't know, or perhaps Eastmore.
Okay. So I guess it would not be southeast. It would be. We would have been westward, off near about 3 days away from Deadnock Insular.
And her eyes kind of sparkle and she smiles up at you. Large, big smile, big white teeth. Roll me a deception check, please.
Yes.
That is her perception check.
Yep.
Her eyes sparkle a bit, and she nods. Sure. There's some loot off in that area. Oh.
Oh.
But you think you have the key to it, huh? Figuring out
Sure.
what it all means?
Oh. To say the key is a very strong term. I have, at most, a cipher for it. But, I must ask, what is your interest in this beyond archaeological pursuits? What do you do?
Well, I myself am also often in line of work where I find unique artifacts for others, archaeological pursuits, as it were. And she kind of gives you a wink as she spins you to the end of the song. She says, but the cuneiform that you find on most of these artifacts, I know very few other people who can read it, or even attempt to understand it. So, in an attempt to find better artifacts for myself, I like to keep tabs of what I overhear. Perhaps we could make an accord sometime.
Certainly, if you already have some experience, we can make an accord. So it's always in the best interest of all to make deals.
Indeed.
Common cause and all that.
Well, thank you for the dance, sir. And she'll nod in your direction.
Of course. It was a pleasure.
She will walk this way and take a look at the table as she passes. And go back. And you'll notice that the atmosphere kind of around her table changes as she returns. And she kind of leans forward with a big smile and starts talking to the man across from her. And the rest of the crew kind of leans in as well. And she starts discussing.
Looks like you made a good impression.
Yes, I think so. So perhaps she seems kind enough. So I don't know her intentions quite yet. But this could be good progress into the future. So I think it good networking.
Hoss will slide his books back to Saran.
Thank you very much. Though, at this point, now that we found the cipher, we can, I don't know if you're staying around to do any translating, but you can hold on to them if you wish. They were originally yours.
Well, I might keep the journal, but I figure I'll hang around and see what we can find out. I'm not in any real hurry to go anywhere. At least not till we're paid, I reckon.
My thoughts exactly. You can help me in the library. You seem like a man of letters.
I know a couple.
Help me read through all the dusty poems.
He'll nod and finish his drink.
Would you all roll me a perception check, please? Okay. All right, Daresh, you notice conversation is still very heated at this table, and that several of them throw glances periodically throughout the conversation at your table as they continue to quickly and quietly discuss things. But nobody else really seems to pay much mind from the rest of the crew. Only you catch it.
Soraya, I don't know how skillful you were with that dance, but you seem to have made some kind of impression on that crew over there.
Yes, I may. I gathered that as well. I don't worry. It's I wouldn't worry about it. It's common cause. And if anything, they'll be doing a good journey to westward to Hardlock, to the dang it, to the Islar off to the west for their searches. Just checking on where we found our particular plunder.
Honestly, he danced like he did in the Tempests. I'm surprised she didn't swoon and faint right on the dance floor.
That is it. That's one is for special occasions only. I can't just break that out anytime that I wish.
Fair. The strongest eagle knows when to hide his talons. Wink.
Exactly.
You'll notice, Daresh, that these two, the captain and the man across from her, have pulled out a booklet and are flipping through the pages and are pointing to certain things on the pages that you can't quite see from your angle.
Daresh is going to get up and go to the bar.
The bar is down here with the bartender.
Yeah, and while he does so, he's going to get up and stumble a little bit, even though he's only had maybe half of one drink, and not bump into the table or bump into them, but, when he comes around this one, kind of brace himself against the table just a little bit, and doesn't know anything about, he can barely read, but he's going to see what he can see. What are they? Does he notice if they're pointing at any kind of a map? Does he recognize it as he moves past to head towards the bar?
Yeah, you will notice that it is indeed a map, that they are pointing to a couple of islands off in the west that have small annotations next to them in a script far too tiny for you to read as you're walking past. But something interesting that you'll notice with your previous perception of 20 is the bookmark to this journal happens to be the same cuneiform letters. With regular letters next to them.
Well, Resh will go grab another drink and then head back to the table with the information that he has just uncovered and let the table know the crew over there is looking at maps somewhere out to the west and going over papers that have some of those cuneiform writings that you guys have been talking about. I don't know what kind of fire you lit in them, but they are interested in what you're talking about. Soraya.
we'll try and do a cautious, like, not be too obvious, but see if people will notice the change in our conversation. But we'll otherwise look at for. It's very odd. If they're not looking too much, then he will still try and keep it rather quiet. But it is rather odd. But you don't suppose that they could read this? That would be quite the boon if they could. So I don't. I will be honest. I don't entirely understand their intentions.
I don't either. And with how affectionate she was willing to act to get your attention, and now how animated they seem to be about what they've uncovered, I don't trust them either.
Yes. Perhaps wise. Well, there is still information to be gained here, but don't worry. I will keep what we found guarded. But I think you've had too many drinks. He'll say a little bit louder. It would. He'll. I can't think of a good thing to like, kind of do a little bit more of a cover, but he'll say something that is a little bit more of a cover on there, just so it does. We're not continuously talking in a low tones after being like regular talking for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
As you mentioned that Daresh has had too many drinks, you'll notice that this gentleman with the glasses kind of raises an eyebrow in your direction, but continues to focus on the conversation at his own table. Eventually, they put the book away and pull out a deck of cards and start playing a card game amongst themselves. Captain Echo will move to talk to these folk over here. And as the night wanes on, unless there's anything else that you guys wish to do, this is a relatively good place to draw your adventure to a close.
Oi, Rob, let's arm wrestle.
Rob looks at you and looks at his arm.
Come on.
Well, I mean, I
What are
would,
you afraid
but...
of?
Oh,
breaking
don't be
your arm?
like that.
I'm a wee little lad. Come on, Rob.
All right, fine. Let's go for it. And
Let's go.
he moves to a clear and empty table.
Or I will follow. 5 gold on 5 gold on Haas.
Okay. 5 gold on Haas. Sure.
What?
I don't have much gold, so...
Oh no, I put up the gold. You can't bet gold. You're already in the competition. It's against the rules. It's you'd have a vested interest in the outcome. Insider trading or something.
Ah, fine. Okay. Well,
We faced down the Tempests, so I want to keep that high riding. Let me challenge something that's going to probably pop me arm clean off.
Earlier, the ref, you want to get in on this?
You have your fun.
yeah. The captain will glance up from her cards every once in a while and pay attention to what's going on here, especially when you say that you've bested the Tempest. But Robin will put his elbow out onto the table. Okay. 2 out of 3, right?
Sounds good. Unless, if you rip it off, then probably just 1. But let's go.
Okay. So that will be an athletics check. And high number wins. Good luck.
in your age to get advantage. Or to get a bonus.
Oh, Nelly!
Robin just gives a deep chuckle. All right, again. Did you say that you're trying to aid?
No, if you rage, you might get a bonus to your athletics checks. Or you can just do it straight.
Well, I guess I do have one charge left.
I think Sarai will like to do that in game. It's like, come on, you can't lose this. I've already put money on you.
Also, reset himself. He'll chuckle, and then he'll kind of grip his finger toes into the rug, and then he'll call on everything he's got to. Does rage give me that bonus?
I believe it does give advantage to strength checks, but I'd have to read it. Let me see. Yeah, advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. So, athletics is technically a strength sort of bonus. So yeah, I think it would if you raged.
All right. Well, I don't think I'll go through the whole fanfare, but he's definitely calling upon everything he's got to try and beat Rob at least once.
Alrighty. The muscles in your arm ripple, the veins poking out a little further. Your tail gets kind of floofy. And
Oh, he's so powerful.
Rob still smacks you to the table.
Oh!
All right. That's 3 out of 5 if you want. And he winks.
Also, right himself. Is the table broken, or did we just get rattle plates around?
You've definitely rattled some plates. This plate has fallen off onto the stool. Swashy will fly over. Pardon me, if you don't mind. Can I get in on the betting? If we're going 3 of 5.
Well, I guess I'm actually technically betting with myself. So, yeah, if we're going to do it, well, as he rapidly considers whether 5 gold into Haas's pocket was actually a good idea or not. Sure, yes. I believe in you both are my friends. I believe in Haas. It's 5 gold standing.
Sure thing. 5 gold. I'll vote for the big brute of a fella. And he'll take from his little pouch on his side 5 gold and put him in the pile. And he'll kind of squawk and cheer as he flaps up and down. Let's go.
Okay, Haas, you really got to do this. You got to focus in, man. Focus in.
No king rules forever there, King Rob. Ah! Long live the king!
Well, maybe I should put on my crown. And he slams you down into the table. This one was a lot tougher, though. He kind of wobbled back and forth before he got the final win. The cup knocks over. Swashy cheers.
Oh. Well, the expected outcome, but still fun.
Rob will kind of smile and clap you on the shoulder. Yep. Actually kind of fun. Swashi will look to Soraya. Sorry, mate. Looks like your friend there lost, unfortunately.
Yep. Well, it was good. It was all in good fun. All in good fun.
Always is. Fun's the name of the game where I'm from.
We could go. Yeah. You don't suppose we could go to 4 out of 7, eh?
Oh, I'm willing to.
Don't actually go out 4 out of 7 if you guys don't want to. This is Soraya coping hard, because otherwise I'm just going to go much, much higher. Or rather, maybe not 4 out of 7, maybe 6 out of 6 out of 11.
I'm game if the other two are, says Swashy. Rob chuckles and will pull out the crown from his pocket and put it on his head. All right, 6 out of 11, Haas. What you say?
Or 6 out of 10, I guess is the.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine by me.
All right. Swashy says, oh, 5 more gold. I'm going to make it a total of 10. You good for that? And he looks at you, Soraya.
No, 5 out of 10's a lot. 10's a lot. I don't know if I've got enough on to do that. I might have to just hold on that one.
No worries. And Swashy will put down 5 anyways. All right, go! And Rob will put his elbow back on the table. Slam.
Oh, did you punch your way out of the churn? Blimey!
Could only punch my way out of the churn, not those iron cages. All right, well, that was 5. I mean, if are we supposed to start over? And he looks at Soraya and Swashy.
No, you're not supposed to start over.
All right. One more then, Haas. And he winks, crown tilted jauntily on his hair.
Oh,
He slams you into the table, and with this final brute force of an arm wrestling match, the table does crack just a little, and Rob kind of looks up. Oh, sorry, your arm must be really feeling that one.
it's a little sore, sure.
Hey, you're not half bad, mister. And he picks up the gold. Thanks for playing. I love a good game.
Yep. Good game. Good. As you just look at the abject, not disappointment. Disappointment's not the right word. The abject horror on Soraya's face. Yep. Good game. What? Nice work, Hoss. Nice work, Robin. Good.
Also, frailly grab a nearby mug with his hand that just got slammed at the table, and he'll hoist it high. Hail to the king!
Soraya will mimic it. Hail to the king.
To the king! And Swashy will flap on the corner. To the king! And he'll fly away with his winnings, chuckling all the way.
And they had such promise.
He's just too big. Also
Rob
pick a
says,
splinter out of his knuckle.
I tried to warn you. Sorry.
A lot of fun. How are you going to know where your limits are if you don't challenge them?
Fair enough. And Robin will put his crown away and will saunter back to the table rather proudly.
Also would go pick up all the plates that got knocked off and put them back on the table before heading back to the The main table.
Very nice
Maybe
of
how
you.
we'll
The
get all the way
bartender
over there.
nods his approval. And with that, as the night deepens outside, and most of the rest of the patrons have left the bar, except for this one group and your own, if there's nothing else you wish to do, this is where the adventure will end. Potential of promise in the upcoming weeks and the upcoming days of new adventures on new horizons. The promise of solving mysteries and gaining more treasure and recognition within the Union and all that that entails. A job well done. An adventure complete. No lives lost. And treasure and glory to be had. This time, and hopefully the next time. Thank you all for playing, guys.
Yay!
Woo!
Thank you.
Thanks
You
for
for running.
DMing. We did it.
Mhm.
Woohoo!